Call, please.
Steve Babbitt.
Here.
Kevin Gomez.
Here.
Mary Gatlin.
Here.
Drew Russo.
Here. Okay, first order of business, approval of August 4th, 2020 meeting minutes. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Aye.
Okay, all in favor? Aye, okay.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, new business, Steve Murphy, Gannon Golf Course, Gannon update. First we'll go with the maintenance work. What do you got there?
Well, being
Yeah.
the sole person, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Maintenance has been great, course in great shape, came through the winter great, went through the summer great. The biggest issue is the weekly pipe breaks, which hopefully is being, you want to get into that or you want to go for the
Talk
elephant
about the
in room?
maintenance first and then we'll get into
All right.
that afterwards.
Okay. So, weekly pipe breaks, greens, the green loop will break, the main line breaks, just constant, chasing it. But the boys kept up with it and the golf course in great shape. We had that state Public Links Championship, first time Gannon's ever held a state tournament, finals. So that was a big deal for Gannon. All the new work that we did last year, the contractor did in excellent shape. We're just aerated fairways last week. They're doing tees right now. Greens are all done. I'll be verticutting the greens pretty soon. So that's pretty much it on the maintenance end. Relating to the sprinkler system, as you know, it's a 1963 sprinkler system. Sprinkler systems typically, their lifespan, they'll say, is 25 to 30 years. And so we've easily surpassed that. They did a great job. Gene Julie did a great job with the initial installation. So that's paid a lot of good dividends for us. With that being said, you approved the design of the sprinkler system last year. It is just getting signed, the documents just getting signed. And I'm hoping to get the system designed this fall. I'd like to get it out to bid, even if it's in November, December, because we've got to line up a contractor for next October, November, December. That's how busy these guys are in the future. And you can't have it has to be a large contractor, because it is going to be a very difficult job. Every time I look at it closely myself, I keep thinking the price is going up, I'm up to probably, I think Mark Mungin was 1.8, I'm saying 2.5, plus a rock clause. I see, you just have to look at the piece of property, and it would scare me. And I was an irrigation contractor. So with that being said, we hope to get this all out to bid. We've already approved that. And then if we could get that out to bid even into December for next year's start. We met with Mike Bertino and Jim LaMotta, and Mr. Bertino said the issue with the money is no problem at all. We'll just use your lease money and pay it off. Getting to the lease money issue, we were trying to get a little relief because of the...
Let's hold off on that for a second,
All right.
see what, on the irrigation. Lisa, last I recall, I believe that this board took a vote for $30,000 expenditure, if I remember correctly.
On August 1st, 2019,
Yep.
we put a request in for $50,000 for irrigation repair, replacement, design. So,
Okay, so what we have approved will cover, because I saw a proposal from Mark Mungin, right?
yes.
And that, I believe that came to about $39,000, if I remember correctly.
$39,500.
$39,500.
That's if you go through the whole process of selecting the contractor, designing. It's a small portion
Right.
of it. Then it's
Right.
he has to go out there, lay it all out on the ground. work with the contractor, oversight, everything else. So
Yeah,
it's
It's for design and construction.
right,
Right.
it's a big process.
If I remember correctly, what was the design part of that, about $16,000 there, the first part of it?
I
On
think
that?
so.
You have that?
On the
Frank?
budget.
I think it was,
16,000, yes, for phase
Okay.
1.
all right. So that covers the whole thing, the 39.5 covers all of the work that Munjam would do, from the design work to writing out the bid documents to overseeing the construction of it, like just checking 2 or 3 times during the project to see what they're doing.
More than that, you know.
Yeah.
It's a big deal. We did a system in Hillview, and the designer was out there frequently. It came out great. I anticipate this will be same thing.
Lisa, where you have appropriated the money in the previous meeting, do we need to take any more votes to allow this to go forward now, or is this,
I don't think so, but I mean, we have a new board now, so I would say maybe we could just revisit.
so,
Just
You
to
would-
make it official?
yeah, I mean, maybe just give them a second to, just to look to see what's there quickly. Do you have the documents in front of you? It breaks it down to design, and like Steve said, you know, it's,
What was the date on this?
I don't know what the date on it was. That's just recent, fairly recent, I believe.
We just, last week, I
Yeah, last
believe,
week, yeah.
Okay.
received it.
Yeah. So we did take a vote on that before to approve up to $50,000 to go ahead with the design and everything like that. So this is, so as Lisa says, maybe we should take a vote just as an affirmation of that vote to go ahead with this.
Sure. And how much have we spent of the 50,000?
We haven't spent.
We haven't spent anything.
No.
Haven't spent anything.
All right.
So,
So I'll make a motion to affirm the board's prior recommendation to appropriate up to $50,000 for the irrigation plan for the Gannon Golf Course.
Okay. Kevin, you'll second that?
Second.
Okay, are there any questions? Are there any questions on this? Mary, have any questions?
No, Mary's all set. She said.
Okay.
No, I can hear it,
She
yeah.
can hear
Okay,
everything.
all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay. So, Steve, what was the next thing you wanted to chat about?
Let's
Well,
see.
there's another one part of that too. There's $25,000 for a cart path, hole number 8.
This is, oh,
For
this is.
Munjam, yes.
Okay, so we need to vote on that
Another
also?
additional-
I spoke to Andy Hall yesterday, going over paving. We don't need Mark Munjam design. What we're talking about is redoing some car paths. I can do all the prep work in-house, bring a contractor in and do some car paths paving. Right now, I've been working with EJ Paving, and they've done their work for us out there before. So we're looking at 250 feet on number 2, 190 feet on number 8, 100 feet on number 9, 575 feet on 16, and 200 feet on 17. And then Andy wanted me to look at perhaps doing some resurfacing in the parking lot and the maintenance room. So I'm estimating 45,000. I'm looking at about 160 a ton at $250 a ton. So I'd like to get.
And this was all stuff that was part of the master plan?
Correct, all the contracts, yeah. But he doesn't have to design them, I mean, they're already there.
Where's this picture from here?
That's hole number 8.
That's hole number 8.
The path number 8.
And that was actually in a bid alternate last time that they didn't have money
This is the one that's got the little clubhouse or something up there, the little
for. Maintenance garage.
maintenance garage right above it there? See, you thought I didn't know the layout up there.
I knew you did.
So Lisa, do we need to have a vote on this too, or?
Yes. Mhm.
Okay,
So
so.
this would be coming from the lockbox money there?
Yeah. So $45,000 is the quote?
Well, I'm gonna use that as the budget, yeah.
Do you have a budget? Do you have it from the company that's doing the work?
Yeah, gave me 250 a ton, and all you do is just go, there's a hot top equation, take length,
Oh, I
width of the
understand that.
path, and thickness of the paving, and then it gives you the tonnage.
When are they gonna do this?
I'd like to do it this fall.
I mean, I'd like to see something on paper before we go ahead and vote on it.
Is that going through Munter?
No.
No? All right, so we're gonna have to look into that, Steve, because that might have to go out to bid because it's over 45,000.
Yeah.
So
I
we
could
have to
u-
work.
I could use your contractor, your in-house contractor. He's coming from Westport, Mass, $280 a ton. My guy was $250, but I'd certainly, be willing to work with your $280 a ton.
We'll work with Tim Leonard,
Yeah.
Purchasing Department.
Okay.
We'll bring the information. Because it's over 45,000, we have to get 3 quotes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the park commission should see something on paper before we
Right.
approve the expenditure.
Yeah, we can't vote on that. Right now, we're just gonna vote on the irrigation design. If it was just hole number 8 with Munter for the $25,000, we can move forward on that, but we can't if it's an outside contractor.
Yeah, the
We
one
could-
problem with that, I'd love to do, just that. You still have to get the quotes. Once you get the guy, they were doing a lot of paving at that time, so the guy's already set up. This is just on number 8, I have 190 feet, so it's really a small job. I'll work on getting a couple other prices. I'll talk to Tim Leonard and see if he
Yeah, we'll have
can.
to,
I was trying to hear from Mike Donovan on, I'd asked for painting of the clubhouse last year. He said he was gonna get Dandrio to give him a price. I've called a couple times, but he hasn't got back to me, so I don't know what the cost is of that. So I'll probably, we'll have to wait till the spring.
Okay, well, anything before we can approve, we just need to have something on paper and, Steve, one other question, going back to the irrigation. When they did a few of the hole renovations, did they put irrigation in place for some of those particular holes?
Yes, that's why the designer that you've hired, he did that work, so he has he's tying that in with this.
Okay. Did they, when they did all that hole work, was that total renovation of the irrigation in that particular area, so the hole is all set?
No, say he did the T, he did the irrigation on the T, and that was it. Just tying it into the existing system.
Okay.
So basically, you're repiping and bringing it over.
Yeah, so when they do this work eventually, this is part of it that's set, they'll just connect to it and that'll be it?
Correct. And I'm recommending using high-density poly pipe. It's that yellow, like the yellow pipe you see the gas lines
Yeah.
using. It's about a 1/2 inch thick. It's, it'll last 100 years, whatever.
Okay, so we've approved the money for the design, we've reaffirmed that. We're gonna get quotes on the paving of the golf cart paths, and we're gonna get a quote for the painting of the clubhouse. Now, does Mike Donovan approve something like that once we give our okay? Does he, because he's in charge of buildings and stuff like
buildings,
that?
so we'll talk to Mike. I'll put a
Okay.
phone call in tomorrow.
So I don't know if it goes from him to us or us to him, how that works.
Him to us, yeah.
Okay. All right, Steve, what else we got?
Let's see. You want to go over that cart accident?
Yeah.
Because you probably heard, we had a cart accident on 7/21. And what happened, it was pouring rain, it was coming down heavy. The Shoe City League, which is, great league, but they're, this guy's in his 80s. And he didn't want to get wet, it was coming down pretty good, so he's trying to fly into the clubhouse. He's coming from 15. So he's coming down 15, coming up the road. Now he's going down 18. He's gonna, I don't know which way he's gonna go from there. And I've got like 4 or 5 posts, a cart sign, directing you around the steep part of the hill. All the hills there, the steep part where you go down any hill like that, we have those and cart signs and everything else. Because it's not the first time something like this has happened over the years. So anyways, he went down the steep part, and I think he realized he was going too fast. And as I explained to Steve earlier, there's in an electric cart, they go pretty fast, but then what's in there is dynamic braking. So when you go down a hill, you can floor it, and it's only going to go so fast, and it catches the brake. And what it does is turn the generator to juice the batteries. And I think either that or he hit the brake, and he spun the cart. It was going sideways. The cart came down and hit the maintenance road that goes across 18, and he flipped it on its side. He hurt his ankle. He's bleeding. He's on Coumadin, so he's bleeding profusely from his arm. So they took him to Mass General. He had bruised ribs, cuts, and Rick Comfort was there with him. They flipped the cart back up. Mass General came. The ambulance came, took him to Mass General. He was in there for 3 weeks, and then unfortunately passed away. So yes, it was related to the cart accident. That was pretty much it.
I guess my concern on this is more timely notification and certainly more information, because what I saw was, I would consider very inadequate. So I guess we should probably chat at some point about how moving forward, when incidents like this happens. So it's my understanding that if something...
Have they seen the accident report?
Yes, I think I did see it. I don't know if everybody else saw it.
I don't know if.
Kevin, did you see it? Kevin probably didn't see it.
Dave Sibley Golfbro emailed us that night. I just spoke with Rick Comfort. He informed me that Pat Ryan was riding down middle of 18, hit the brakes downhill. This caused the car to turn and then flip once it hit the road at the bottom of the hill. He was taken to Mass General. He was being treated for fractured ribs and having some skin graft surgery. This is what I know at the time. This was on that date.
When was this? You have an obligation under the lease, correct, to report this incident to the city?
Yeah, I guess. Yep.
And when did that happen?
That I'm not sure of, to be honest with you.
Mr. Chairman, my understanding is that incidents like this need to be reported within 72 hours. Is that correct?
Yes.
And I'm assuming that it took longer than 72 hours?
It may have, yeah.
All right.
I did not know it was going to be this type of thing.
Right. But I mean, I think from my vantage point, speaking as a member of the Board of Park Commissioners, and we enter into good faith in a lease with you, and you folks do a great job, but we also can't hear about these things third hand. And I think that that's a situation, at least from my vantage point, that happened here. This is very serious. I think any incident, especially one that causes somebody that goes to go to the hospital, needs to be reported in a timely fashion. I think it is a violation of the lease, and I would recommend to this board that the law department on our behalf send a letter to your group. I'm just informing them that we do see a potential lease violation here, and that we're noting it appropriately.
Okay.
Would you like to make that in the form of a motion?
Sure. I move that we send a letter to Mr. Murphy and Mr. Carter regarding the city's disappointment that we were not notified in a timely fashion, reminding them that it is a violation of the lease, and in a sense send a letter of reprimand from this commission via the law department.
And, Kevin, make a second?
A second. I second.
Is there any,
Motion.
is there any further discussion or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Steve, you got anything else?
Well, we did meet with, like I said, Bertino and Lamana going some COVID relief. But we're committed to paying the whole thing, not expecting to get any money back. So we're committed to paying the total $480, has been a difficult year. I have.
Did
figures.
your company apply for any of that PPE
Yeah.
relief or any of that stuff?
Yeah, we got some of that.
Oh, so you got some of that.
We don't know what the status is on paying it back yet. It seems to be changing. As far as it has been play-wise, it's been a great July, August, and September. It's been probably our best year ever. With that being said, we were down about 60 memberships in this. Did you want me to hear this out?
Yeah, if you got it, I haven't seen it. So. How many memberships you usually have? About 5 and change?
480 to 5, yeah.
480 to 5, and you were down probably 60?
Yeah.
Did that reduction in membership help you with more?
Yes. I was going to go into that.
Okay.
It helps us get more public play out. Because generally, a guy's going to join because he's going to get his money's worth.
Thank you.
If you will.
Thank you.
One, Jerry? All right, so we don't have the September, that's due September 15th, the September report. As you can see, well, let me give you.
But September's was a pretty good month, weather-wise.
Yes, yep, weather. That also has been a tremendous help. The weather's been fabulous. This is just to give you a little help here. The weather, the golfing days have been fabulous. I suppose you want one too, huh, Jerry?
Can I have a set, please?
You can have mine one.
Okay.
I'll give you one.
Steve, I have a question. The revenue for the restaurant and the bar area, I know that you were able to reopen, or they were able to reopen in a modified fashion up with phase 2 and phase 3. How does that revenue compare to previous years?
Let's see.
The total year, too, I think it shows you on here, on the other form.
The one I just handed out.
Second column from the right.
Okay. I'm just thinking in terms of those months, thinking about sort of the COVID impact on the restaurant side of things.
Yeah, she hasn't been able to run any functions or anything else. She has had to serve food along with the
Right.
alcohol. Our bar manager, Jason, did a great job, fashioning some sort of outdoor seating and everything up there at the bar. Got some TVs. So our anticipated revenue from the bar and restaurant, we're anticipating probably 50%. Is what we're anticipating getting.
50% of last year's number,
Yes.
which was what, 763, 675? When you say gross revenue, restaurant, bank facility, that includes the bar also, right?
No, the bar is separate. There's a function and then there's the bar.
Well, there's a bar in one report.
One
In this report, it just shows it together.
The first report I gave you.
But if you combine the two of them, they're down. Their numbers are down,
Right.
obviously, because they lost April and May.
Yeah.
Well, you can't do any functions, and basically her food
Yep.
businesses functions. Good news is it was great weather from golf.
Mm.
Still busy.
You've had great weather.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's gonna be kind of lousy, but
The cart rentals, single rider carts, and then the way they started out, first there were no carts, and there was a handicap placard cart. If you had a placard, you could have a cart. And they got a lot of complaints from that, so they switched to single rider carts. And this week, just starting yesterday, it's supposed to be 2 to a cart. But we're getting tremendous pushback on that. Because, well, you know, what about the COVID, you know? They rode in the car with the guy up there, but, you know. So, you know, we're trying to do the best we can with it.
Well, that should help cart business, right? If everybody's got to take out an individual card as opposed to 2 in a cart.
Well,
If you have the cards.
you're only making half the money, the card's going out.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So, and then something.
There's 4 carts at half the price, so.
Right, and then not to mention the cart damage to the course and cart paths and, you know, the turf. But we're working around that, so basically I thought that all worked out pretty well.
Yeah.
Jason did a great job with the bar, as under difficult situations.
So Steve, how does that work up there? If there is an issue with the bar or there is an incident, then it's Jason's responsibility to file a report? And
Right.
anything that happens out on the course is David Sibley's responsibility?
Correct.
So I think at some point, we probably should get together and just chat about what our expectations would be when an incident happens. This way here, there's no doubt, and, you know, what information's required and what the report should look like and stuff like that.
Okay.
Okay, and that's, I
Yeah,
think
Jim
that's,
Lamont mentioned it to us at that meeting.
okay. Anything else, Steve, or?
I think things are going pretty well, other than a few hiccups here and there.
Well, it's a year for hiccups, what can we say?
Yeah. Doing the best we can. A little disappointing that the Lynn high school teams can't play their home course because we're a hot spot. So Jerry's just telling me that St. Mary's has lost their first 3 matches when they were state champs. Weren't they state champs? Yeah. So, I mean, they can't play their home course. Puts them at a disadvantage.
Yeah.
You know, we're letting them play at Hillview and Beverly, but you know, you play in your own backyard. It's
Sure, it makes a difference.
big difference, yeah. So that's disappointing. It's good to see them all out there playing. It has been very busy.
They go up again in the practice?
Yeah, they can practice there, but they can't play. Now, why the other team can't come in and play is beyond me. Makes no sense.
Yeah, I don't understand this.
Unless it was just because St. Mary's is champs and we'll stick it to them, is the only thing I can read into it. You know?
Who makes the decision?
I don't know, the MIA or whatever. Not
And what do
me.
they base the decision on? They base it on because Lynn was a hot spot, or?
Yeah, that was it.
I don't know.
So, other than that, been an interesting year.
Okay, anybody have any questions of Steve Murphy and Deanna related? Okay, Steve, thanks for coming in.
That was it.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Steve.
Thank you.
Okay, the last thing we have is Lynn Woods reservation gift for filming in the woods, so.
That's been brought to the city council, they approved it.
Okay.
It goes into a trust and it goes into the city general fund.
Back to Johnny. I will.
So everybody can see it here. Ordered that pursuant to Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 44, Section 53A, the City of Lynn hereby accepts a gift from Sacrificial Lover Productions, LLC, in the amount of $10,000 in appreciation of being allowed by the City of Lynn and its Park Commission to film within the Lynn Woods Reservation from approximately September 21st to October 8, 2020. Said fund shall be deposited into the City of Lynn General Fund. Do you need a vote from this?
No,
This is just for information
Just for
purposes.
information.
Okay. Is there anything else to come before the commission? I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
We stand adjourned. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Mary.
All right,
Have a good night.
I'll be here.